In the winter of 1970, deep within a fog-shrouded valley, stood a farmhouse that would become the epicenter of a chilling, supernatural phenomenon. Inside, a young woman known as the Afflicted began a descent into a state of unexplained possession that defied every medical explanation of the era. She would stare for hours into the absolute darkness of the corners, her shallow breathing the only sound in the suffocating silence of the room. She would stare for hours into the absolute darkness of the corners, her shallow breathing the only sound in the suffocating silence of the room. When the tapes were finally played back, they revealed voices that did not belong to the girl, distorted, low-pitched growls speaking in dead languages. The investigator arrived late one evening, a man who had spent his life staring into the abyss, yet he felt a primal chill upon entry. The house itself seemed to reject his presence. The air grew heavy, and the mundane laws of physics began to fray at the edges. Glasses would shatter without cause, and the sound of frantic, desperate scratching echoed from behind the wallpaper, as if something were trying to claw its way out. As the investigator entered the bedroom, he found the woman on the floor, her body twisting into impossible, bone-breaking angles. He began the rites of protection, his voice steady, but his hands trembling as he gripped a small silver cross against the rising tide of darkness. The temperature plummeted instantly. Their breath materialized as a thick, ghostly mist, swirling around them like a living shroud. Then came the scream, a guttural, multi-tonal roar that vibrated through the floorboards, sounding like a dozen different voices crying out in unison. Reality itself seemed to warp. A dark, oily substance began to seep from the gaps in the wood, as if the house itself were bleeding. Suddenly, her body rose from the floor, suspended by an unseen force. For a fleeting second, her face shifted into a visage of pure malice. A violent blast of wind erupted from the center of the room, throwing the investigator back. Every pane of glass in the farmhouse shattered at once. When dawn finally broke, the fog lifted to reveal a house that looked older, more derelict, as if a century had passed in a single night. The bedroom was empty. No trace of the girl remained, save for the investigator's silver cross, snapped in half and discarded on the floor. All that remains is this photograph from before the incident, a reminder of a life lost to forces we cannot understand. Some cases remain closed for a reason.